Hey guys, welcome to Chaotic Stupid Gaming. I'm Ben.
I'm Tony.
And we are here to kind of give you a compiling and our thoughts on the new 8th edition releases they've been doing for the past 2 weeks. We're going to go over them, what they mean for the game, how we think they're going to play out, and what we think is to come. So yeah, well, I guess we can go in chronological order of their release. The first one they released is basically telling us the 3 ways to play. So it's the same as Age of Sigmar.
We got open,
yep,
narrative, and match play.
Yep. So open play. Don't have much to say here.
Yeah, it's just if you got it, you can run it.
Yeah, it's like you're just showing up at the game store, or like you don't have much time or something like that. You're just playing.
It's pretty much just for like.
Yeah.
I bought this box of Space Marines, and my friend bought a box of Orcs, and we're just gonna play, and it's whatever, which is fine.
Which is fine. I'm glad that the rules are in place for that, because in normal. Like casual play, then you have to like sit down and do bookmaking,
start your list and all that.
Bookmaking even for like a casual game.
Yeah.
And so it's fine. I don't think I'll ever play it.
Not a big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, I probably won't ever
narrative
play it.
Narrative play though.
Narrative play
I think is interesting.
Fun. Yeah.
So narrative play, they're gonna have 2 sets of points for every unit. There's gonna be the more granular points, and that'll be for match play, which is what we know now, where you have to buy upgrades. Like if you want a plasma gun, you got to buy a plasma gun. All that good stuff. But then narrative play, there's gonna be less granular points. That's just really based on power scaling, they've said.
Basically just to make it to where it's not completely ridiculous what armies are being taken.
Yeah.
And then I believe, I hope that they'll be releasing as frequent like different mission types as they do in Age of Sigmar. So that'll be very nice. And with the app, it makes this actually like feasible to have like a narrative style of play where you can just be like roll on a random D100 table and you get a narrative type you never played before and have fun with your opponent.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of different... I don't think it'll be that balanced, but that's fine.
It's way better than the War Scroll per War Scroll.
Yeah.
That's an Age of Sigmar currently, which is laughably bad.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but...
the big chunk narrative points are good. Match play?
Match play is
what
the
we
one...
know now.
Yeah.
It's probably the vast majority of 40K is going to get played with, I would think. I'm excited about it. Maybe they'll do a really good job with narrative, and it'll get played a little more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. And
all right. So anything else on 3 ways to play?
No. Except for there was like for match play when they talk about there's going to be different rules for specific things like using psychic powers and using your stratagems. I thought was they said there's going to be different rules. So how do you think that could play out? What do you think those different special rules you think? For stratagems, obviously, it'll be like limiting the amount of use that you can do. In open play, I assume they're just like you can use stratagems willy-nilly.
Well, for stratagems, which are what you spend command points on, like you said, we know that they'll be limited to 1 point per phase. Yeah. There's a lot more phases now, so that's not as big a deal as you think.
But only limited in match play.
Play. So maybe it'll just be unlimited?
Yeah, in open play. Yeah, so...
That's an easy thing to do.
And then, just like Age of Sigmar, like summoning and things like that.
Summoning.
Points,
it might be...
Like holding, points.
Well, we don't quite know how summoning is going to work yet, though.
But
they haven't talked about that.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be exactly like it is in Age of Sigmar.
I hope
you hold them, and I don't know how much fun that is. But
well, we also don't know how reserves work yet.
That's true,
so maybe not.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to
the next release was unit profiles.
Unit profiles, yeah, they look a little different.
Yeah, so the biggest change, obviously, is they're going back to the older editions of movement stat.
Yep.
And they're taking away initiative.
It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone in favor.
And we'll get later to that when we talk about the fight phase.
Yeah,
and
works a lot like Age of Sigmar now.
Yeah. But right now, no initiative. I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
I didn't really see. You don't really use initiative for anything except for determining order in combat.
Yeah, just
order
that's
gone.
And a handful of special rules, but they can just say use your movement stat now or something else. Yeah. Not a big deal.
Pretty crazy thing is that strength and toughness are no longer capped at 10.
Yeah.
So that means that we'll have like tanks and like a knight, I assume.
Well, that's another thing is armor values are out now, so everything's got a toughness value.
Yeah. So I assume like knights and Lehman Russes will have over 10 toughness. Yeah.
So toughness. They just directly translate the values.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be
wonderful.
Yeah.
But they did say everything can wound everything.
Right.
Which is interesting. I know we talked about it a lot, and we seem to think that it's going to be multiple 6s you'll need. like on the protracted.
Yeah. It'll be like
table.
it'll be like ballistic skill is now like if you
if you have more than for those who don't know, if you have more than 5 ballistic skill.
Yeah.
And you miss. Say you have 6.
Yeah.
You roll. If you get a 1, then you roll again, and if you get a 6, you hit. And if you don't, so maybe it'll work similar, but sort of in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So you get a 6,
and then you have to.
And then you roll again, and maybe it'll be a 4 up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be a 6 up,
Like
depending.
that, Which is like fine.
They could do it.
That
as
seems a
just
little
straight
complicated.
6s.
Yeah. And then
which really wouldn't be that big of a problem.
Right. Especially if like that, like you're pouring a lot of shots.
Yeah, if you're pouring hundreds and hundreds of shots,
hundreds of shots,
anything,
and you're doing like a little bit of damage. But I think the way that I think if they make it to where if you don't have armor piercing value, you're not hurting armor.
Yeah.
And like some way to put that into the rules, I think that then they don't need a
by not hurting armor. What do you mean by that?
Like having a Lehman Russ have like a 2-up armor save or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think obviously like big vehicles like that will probably have a 2-up. I know that we got the Dreadnought and that's a 3-up.
Right.
There are things that are much more heavily armored. Well, significantly more heavily armored than Dreadnoughts. And so we'll probably see 2-up on a lot of vehicles.
Right. And then also because they have a massive amount of wounds. Like in your mind, you're thinking like, well, a bunch of las guns could take down a Lehman Russ if they.
Well, you're thinking in terms of like Terminators.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the best way to kill Terminators currently is just to shoot them a lot with las guns.
Yeah, I mean, it is the
it's the preferred method of taking out heavily armored.
Yeah, so I think we'll see.
It might just be straight 6s. It would definitely because their guiding principle, their sort of mission statement seems like is make the game go faster.
Yeah, and that seems to
it would make it go a lot faster if it was just one roll.
Yeah,
the re-rolls might be a good way to balance it for like really high toughness. Maybe not.
Right.
Anyway, so anything else on profiles?
Nothing really that changed drastically. Like strength getting above 10 is also pretty interesting as well. Like
leadership above 10, which we'll go into that a little bit with Battleshock, but even on like a Space Marine's leadership is now 7.
Right. Yeah, so
interesting. For
a little bit of
so all right.
Well,
so
I think leadership is changing. Well, because it's moving away from it's moving away from a 2d6 system to a 1d6. So I think everyone's going to see a reduction in leadership.
A little bit less.
Yeah.
All right. So movement.
Let's talk about weapon profiles.
Weapon profiles next. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Profiles. So the biggest thing that's going to change is going to like change the way we play the game. I think this is like one of the biggest changes that weapons do more damage now. So a las cannon does d6 damage.
D6 damage, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
pretty significant, just like we saw in Shadow War.
Right, exactly. So a las cannon is going to be actually able to do some damage to a Riptide.
Do more than
one
worth of damage.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. Of like, it just seemed like crazy, like the difference between like a las cannon and like a D weapon. Even though they're like
there is a gap. But they're not the same gap as there is between
like okay, I can do 1 damage to you at most per turn, right?
Like theoretically.
But now you can do like actual real damage to something. So that's nice, and it is only model. So you're not going to be doing d6 wounds to a Terminator squad and like wiping them out with 1 las cannon shot.
Yeah.
But
because it doesn't spill over. Like it doesn't need a Sigmar.
Yeah. It's only per.
It's 1 model. So if you do 6 wounds to a guardsman, you do not kill 6 guardsmen. You kill 1 guardsman.
You kill him real good.
You kill him real good. He is a fine pink fist now. The other big change to weapons. No more templates.
Yeah.
R.I.P. templates. They're gone.
I don't know if anyone will really miss it. When you think about it, you're like, man, templates like added so much strategic elements. That tactical spacing. But honestly, it was just like a really difficult part that nobody liked in the game.
Yeah, it was just a stumbling block.
Yeah, I was playing the other day against army that had a bunch of artillery, so it was actually important for me to do that. And I felt like
it's just tedious.
So much of my time of my turn was getting out a ruler and literally measuring 2 inches on every single guy to get the max, so I don't get wrecked. I think this will speed up the game so much
faster,
and it won't make you feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
like whenever you accidentally misplace a guy or something like that,
you don't pay attention to deployment. You clump
you're
like
boom, you have a clump,
turn 1 they're gone.
Yeah, and you're like, it's not fun. It doesn't make your opponent feel better.
R.I.P. templates. They were it was fun, but they're gone now.
Yeah, I think I'll agree that nobody will miss them. Yeah, and another thing that changed is the way like flamers work.
Yeah, well, since templates are gone, they had to do it. They had to change it. So how do they work then?
So now you auto hit a random amount, so a D6 amount with a regular flamer.
Yeah. Well, their type is assault D6.
Assault D6,
and they have a special rule.
That allows you to automatically hit.
Yeah, doesn't literally say this weapon auto hits.
Yeah. So
that'll probably be how blast weapons work as well.
Yeah.
Something similar. They could do a little different.
I don't know. We kind of like a couple different ideas. One is that they work exactly like that, which is like
which would be in keeping with the philosophy of make the game go faster.
It would make the game go a lot faster, but it would also mean I think it would make blast weapons insane because you could never miss with them. You would like from like 48 inches away, you would always be doing a certain amount of hits to a target.
And well, it might be like
I think that a Space Marine from 48 inches away has a possibility to maybe miss a grenade launcher.
Well, because wounds don't carry over. It might be you roll the hit and then you get a lot of wounds, and it has a special rule that says these wounds carry over.
Yeah, they apply to the whole squad.
And you can take multiple saves somehow.
Right.
There would just need to be like a thing in between the to hit roll and the to wound roll, where you roll up the number of hits you actually get.
Yeah. So like maybe
do that.
like you roll. A 2 hit.
It would be called blast D6.
Right.
If you get a hit, you get D6 hits.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little more complicated, but
not that much more. It could be.
It's not that. But I just feel like
it's still if it was an order of magnitude faster than templates.
Yeah, I feel like if they were hitting more, like if they were auto hitting, like
it'd be
crazy. Like everyone would have a missile launcher. Everyone would have some way blast weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you just have like auto D6 hits. That's from like a far away. Yeah. All right.
Russ is being good.
Yeah, nothing
Hopefully
much.
a lovely Russes.
More to talk about on that, except for like D strength is gone.
Yeah, D strength is just gone. Like with multiple wounds, it's effectively still here.
Exactly.
And then mortal wounds. Right. We'll talk about that when we get to the psychic phase, because that's the only thing that's been.
Right.
All right. So next up on the chopping block, movement.
For the first phase. The movement phase.
First phase of the game. We don't know anything about reserves first.
Yeah.
So we assume reserves happen at the start of your movement phase.
Probably.
Maybe it'll be its own phase.
Yeah. But I doubt it. I think it's just going to be during the movement phase.
So what are some new things you can do in the movement phase? You can move with your movement stat, brand new. You can advance, which is just running, rolled in the movement phase. I know a lot of people do this anyway.
Yeah,
in current 40K, just to speed the game up a little. Like, hey, I'm gonna move these, and I'm gonna roll D6 and go ahead and run them. If that's cool with you, yeah, sure, it's fine. It's good. That's good. You give up your shooting still if you run, which I think is fine. Also, it only really affects like psychics a little bit, but who cares? Not a big deal.
Can't charge either.
Yeah, and you can't charge. We don't know that for certain, but I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, like 99% sure you won't be able
if you
to do
advance, then you don't get to charge that turn, and that'd be fine.
This applies to all things, so infantry and bikes no longer move in any other phase. It's only you move during your
as far as we know.
Yeah, that's right.
It could be different, but maybe jetpacks will still get to jump. Maybe bikes will still get to
turbo boost.
Who knows?
I don't think so.
They'll probably just get a special rule that they can move further.
Yeah,
or it'll just be reflected in their profile. Wouldn't that be amazing? Other than that, the fallback, and this is a pretty big deal.
Right.
So you're locked in combat at the beginning of your movement phase with some nasty. Your poor line of fire warriors somehow survived an entire round of combat with some corn zerkers.
Yeah.
And now you really want to shoot those zerkers, and you know your fire warriors are going to die if they stay in combat. You can fall back now, which is where you just move your movement phase away, or your movement amount away from the unit you're locked in. They stay where they're at. They don't get to consolidate or anything like that, as far as we know. Your guys are out. They can't do anything for the rest of the turn. So
no shooting, no
charging. I don't think even psychic.
Yeah.
They said nothing. I don't know.
No,
I don't know how legalistic we should read.
They said no advancing, shooting, or charging.
Okay, so maybe you can still do psychic phase, which you can do currently when you're locked in combat anyway. So yeah, you move away. They can't do much for the rest of the turn. Yeah. But you can shoot that unit now, and you can also charge that unit now with other
it'll make
units.
It to where assault armies are no longer like safe once they reach that. They
just
still have to actually
in melee combat. I know it's always been a little weird. Like, why would
the
Imperial Guard care at all that their regards been trapped in combat with a Carnifex? Just shell that position.
And also like kind of prohibits you from like having that anti fluff kind of reasoning of, oh, I hope I don't kill this whole unit.
Yeah,
I hope
like,
I leave it at one guy.
Yeah, like
so
trying
that I
to
can
not kill them all.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
weirdness.
So that I can
Not
stay
great.
in combat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really like that. So
I think it's
removing
cool.
that, yeah.
It really does. It allows a lot more tactical play where
Right.
they even talked about like, hey, you can have a firing line of dudes set up in layered defenses where
exactly.
you can run back behind your other guys now, and then they can shoot, and you can have a little bit of defense in depth, which
I
is
think
cool.
it'll add to the health of the game.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep.
So I think that's everything for movement.
Right. Yeah.
Psych
nothing
phase. This is
changed,
completely different.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah, because the current
I
psychic
think,
phase.
I think I'm with everyone. I say
Oof.
screw the psychic phase, and that's coming for like you're a Tau
I'm a Tau player.
So like when people say
I just go take a coffee
it's like
break.
when you say screw the psychic phase, everyone's like rolls their eyes. Okay, that's because you know psychic. I'm an Eldar player. I also do dislike the current state of the psychic phase.
It's a little much.
Yeah, it's just it just seems like they were trying to go for like a mini game, which is like kind of cool. They wanted something different, and then it just like
when they wrote the original rules, they never intended it.
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
What it is now.
And like the psychic phase is just like something that it didn't really.
It was. They made it.
It was.
They originally when they originally balanced
it,
it was supposed to be random, and that was what balanced it.
Right.
They removed the random via really good formations and special
Right.
rules, and now it's just broken.
Yeah, and it's just like a. I'm just talking about like the structure of the psychic phase. I don't think was ever.
Yeah,
something
it was never
that
great.
was
Like
it's
but
just
now.
Like, boring.
Now it's just Age of Sigmar
Right.
magic.
So everyone will have
And
like
it's
on their profile they'll have this unit can cast this amount of spells. This is their selection of spells.
And mastery level will probably be the amount they can cast.
Yeah, probably.
And everyone gets Smite.
Yep.
They've already announced. And Smite, we'll talk about it in a second. But
Yeah.
so everybody gets Smite, and then they said that every army was going to get their own special psychic powers. They did clarify, and they went back and said, no, Tau doesn't get any psychic powers. We said every, but but them and Krons, they don't get none. Probably Khorne as well.
Yeah.
So you'll have your special powers that'll be on. No more rolling for powers.
Yeah.
Maybe like Tzeentch or like someone. Maybe that'll be a real special thing for them. But in general, no more rolling for powers because that was also garbage.
Yeah.
And you'll have those. You can cast as many as your mastery level. And the way that you cast now is you roll 2d6 and you try and beat the warp charge value of the power.
Casting value.
Yeah, the casting value.
Right.
Really simple, real straightforward, super easy to do. No more, I have a million warp charges from these 20 other units. I'm just going to roll a bucket of dice from this one god
trust
unit.
your opponent that he's doing. He knows what he's doing and he's keeping track of.
Because the Lord knows you're not keeping track of.
I got 22 warp charge points. I'm going to spend 2 on this, 2 on this, 2 on this, and you're like, whatever.
Cool.
Do your
Awesome.
thing, man.
All right. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
You're about to cast invisibility? All right, let me try and deny.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one thing they haven't talked about is denying.
Denying. So you won't be able to deny unless you have a psyker as well.
Unless you also have a psyker.
Within 24 inches.
I'm sure there'll be special rules, equipment, war gear, whatever, that allow you to do it. Right. But for the most part, unless you have a psyker, you can't unbind your psychic powers.
And it's also nice because it's just a regular unbinding roll. I assume the way it works in Age of Sigmar, you just have to beat their roll.
Yeah.
And it'll help because like right now, if someone's casting invisibility, it's so annoying because you can't stop that. Even if you're
it's just a blessing,
it's
and you can only do it if it's like a malediction
like,
or
even if you're like a dedicated, like you have adamantium will and all this stuff,
everything.
you still can't. You're just like,
and then they disappeared, and I couldn't use my influence in the warp to do anything.
Right. So
all I have is these.
This will make it to where the more powerful psyker will have the more powerful.
Will have the advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is cool. So Smite though, the one power they've announced, it's basically just. You have to pick the closest enemy unit within 18 inches of you. It has to be the closest. It says so. You roll. You try and beat a warp charge value of 5. If you get 5 or higher, then you do D3 mortal wounds. Mortal wounds work exactly as you do in Age of Sigmar. You don't get any saves, no armor, invuln, nothing. You just take those wounds.
There'll probably be special rules that allow you to have a special save against mortal wounds. But and if you don't have that,
I'm sure the power creep will get in there.
Right. Yeah. But if you don't have that. Nope.
And there is also like a more powerful way to cast it, where if you get above 10, you do D6 instead of D3.
And this is kind of cool because
like layered power.
Which
is neat.
Yeah, talking about
So mortal wounds.
Yeah, I think it's a cool addition to the game. They only talked about it in all of these releases. They only talked about it in the psychic phase thing, but
we've only seen a handful of weapon profiles though. We haven't seen any melee weapon profiles.
Right.
So it's not unreasonable to assume that anything that currently has instant death, most things that have instant death, I think it's appropriate for like force weapons.
Right.
It's appropriate for D weapons for sure. To just ignore, you don't get saves, and that's fine. Like, it makes the game more lethal, which isn't necessarily a problem.
Right.
But it introduces an appropriate amount of lethality for certain weapons.
Yeah. And I don't know if it will have every D weapon be mortal wounds, but certain ones.
Some of the Eldar ones that are a little smaller scale, like the ones that troops can carry around, maybe not.
Also, that's will be a nice buff. It'll be a nice buff because they can throw like throwing around D wasn't very fluff friendly because it was like a specific thing that high advanced armies could build,
or like planet cracking,
exactly.
Weaponry.
But like mortal wounds is like a mechanic in the game that can be represented, that can be toned down or toned up by the amount of wounds you do, like D3 or D6.
They can give it to people if you roll a 6 to wound, you can do mortal wounds. They can do things like that,
or like a big the big Vanquisher. Could do mortal wounds. That'd be cool. So like something like that, to where you could hand it out more freely because it's just a mechanic in the game rather than like a backed up fluff thing.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Yeah, so it's like, speaking of these, kind of like going into more of this, talk about the shooting phase.
My favorite phase.
It is the biggest part of the best phase of.
It's the best
40K,
phase as far as I'm concerned.
So
it's pretty much the same as it was. There's not much different mechanically that we know about so far.
Right.
The biggest differences we've already sort of talked about is the shooting weapon, is the profiles.
Right.
Your AP now knocks off armor.
Right.
And another big change is templates. We were talking about them; they're gone. But cover itself is different. Instead of being a different save, it adds to your armor save to a max of 2 up, and we don't know if it'll spill over, and that's sort of. It's a little hazy on the details, but it'll add to your cover save, and it'll be something you can punch through with AP.
Right.
There will still be things that ignore cover. They've said that.
Yeah, like the Nova Cannon, like the thing that
Nova
already
Cannon, they use that.
Cover.
So things that sort of already ignores cover will probably continue to do so.
Flamer, probably.
Flamer. I think they even said Flamer. That's a pretty big change.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it'll make it where you can actually play tactically with your Space Marine instead of just running them up because your opponent doesn't have any AP3. You actually have to play around the cover.
You can take advantage of it. It'll be great.
Exactly. So it'll
be a thing to consider for high. There'll be a good reason to sit your Terminator in
exactly
cover.
It'll add a whole level of competitive strategic thinking that I think the game lacks right now.
Yeah, like real depth, which is good.
Yeah, instead of like
fake,
like shallow depth.
Shallow depth.
Yeah.
It's really a wordsmith.
I got the best words.
You do, Ben.
You're missing the best part about the shooting phase.
What's the best part, Ben?
And this is your favorite thing. You can shoot pistols in close combat now.
Oh yeah, that happens in the shooting phase. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
if you're locked in close combat, you get to shoot your pistol at whoever you're locked in close combat with, which is awesome.
That's pretty awesome. We will now see a plasma pistol.
Yeah, there's a good reason to take it.
I have maybe 10 sergeants modeled with plasma pistols because I thought they were awesome. They are awesome.
It's
but
true.
I think they have about this much dust on them by now, more dust than model, because I just cannot justify ever bringing them out to use once. You were using it maybe once a game. Because you were only within 12 inches of an enemy.
The only time is literally like suicide melts a squad.
Right.
And you take a plasma pistol because, I don't know, you do a little more damage.
Yeah, so it'll be nice. My assault squad. So now having assault squads with plasma pistols will be decent.
It'll actually be pretty good because you get to hit like twice, which is interesting. You will have to survive until the next shooting phase, though, which I think is an interesting way to balance it. I know I would prefer you just being able to shoot people in melee with your pistols. Yeah, but
using that instead of your
gun because
attack.
Lord knows if a Chaos Space Marine was bearing down on me and I had a plasma pistol, that's what I would resort to.
Yeah, you'd be.
But that's a really cool addition. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Another big thing, heavy weapons is only a -1 to hit. If you moved in the previous movement phase.
This is like
that's a huge change.
I am just gleeful right now because of all the things that I like when you start playing the game and you're like, I'm gonna build a strategically balanced Space Marine squad. I've got you know, like how you would actually
there's
like
heavy bolters to support the advance of my tactical marines, and one guy has a big sword.
Right, how you would actually build a squad is now like viable rather than well, everyone has a grav gun or everyone has a grav cannon in their squad. All right, we're rolling out.
Never move.
So
we will dig in and fight to the last.
Yeah, so
you can walk around a little, and it's not like snapshotting, which is just devastating to your accuracy and effectiveness.
So you'll be able to run around with your missile launchers. You might actually see a missile launcher maybe once in a while in the game.
And also with removal of templates, there's no more. Oh, you moved.
You
can't shoot.
You
templates.
can't templates. Yeah. So
which I think is great.
So
I always thought it was a little weird that you just can't snap shoot a template.
I mean, it obviously had mechanical.
There was
game
mechanical
balance
reasons
issues,
to it,
right? It made sense, but it is like when we're playing a game that's supposed to represent.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying if you can't represent a real world.
I don't think 7th edition is going to be remembered for its good game balance.
I mean, it'll be remembered. At least it wasn't 5th or 6th edition, guys. Remember that.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then other than that, just multiple wounds from ranged weapons that don't carry over. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everything for the current. It's almost the same as it is now.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Which it's fine.
There was nothing wrong with it currently.
Right.
Just a few minor things. Pretty excited with the removal templates. Gonna go so much faster. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be tremendous.
So the next phase,
charge phase, interestingly, not the assault phase. Very important.
Yeah.
The charge phase.
Right. So a separate phase. I mean, it kind of already was.
Well, there were sub phases.
Yeah, it was probably kind of already doing that. So,
charge phase. So we'll just walk through how it works.
Yeah.
So I pick a unit. Say I have like 2 units of assault marines, and there's like a line of cat space marines. Right. I pick one of my assault marines. I say I want to charge those space marines. They're cat space marines. You roll 2d6. As far as we can tell, you roll 2d6, and you move the result of the 2d6. Right. You have to be within 12 inches of them in order to declare a charge. 12
inches is important because a lot of things like will give you buffs.
Yeah,
and so even if it's technically possible for you to make a 15-inch charge, you can't do it unless you're within 12 inches.
You can't declare it.
Right.
There might be special rules that supersede it, but that's true of every rule in the game.
I don't think any special rules will supersede the 12 inches.
There'll be like a character or something who can do it.
In Age of Sigmar, you would think that, but like even if you have a +3 inch share on your charge, you cannot charge unless you're within 12 inches of an enemy unit. So
then when you roll your 2d6,
right,
and then you overwatch first. The opponent overwatches, which now they can do infinite amount of times as long as they're not locked in combat.
Makes sense. Because you wouldn't shoot at someone who's charging at you, and then you see someone else charging to you, and you're like,
it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's an argument to be made for the other direction as well, where you're too busy shooting at those guys. It's one of those things where there's a fluff argument for both directions. I think the new way that they're doing it, I think it's appropriate. Yeah. Before you had to declare all your charges against one unit. It doesn't look like it's how it's going to be anymore.
Yeah.
So you roll 2d6, you get as close, you move. If you're within 1 inch, you're locked in combat.
If you're not,
then you move on to your next unit and you declare their charge, and you do the overwatch, and then you roll your 2d6 and you go through and through until you're done declaring your charges. That's pretty much the entirety of the charge phase.
If you charge multiple units, they both get to fire at you.
Yeah, you can still multi-charge. We don't know if there'll be a major penalty besides just having to overwatch. We don't know if there's still disordered charge. That's what it amounts to. Maybe there will be. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe you just won't get to attack first.
Yeah. That might be it. Yeah. Which, moving right on to the fight phase.
Yeah, so after you're done with your charging, you move on to the fight phase. It's pretty much the combat phase from
Age of Sigmar.
From Age of Sigmar. So you have a 3-inch consolidation move that you make at the beginning of your phase.
Well, you go unit by unit.
Yeah, unit by unit.
Starting with units that charge.
Starting with charging units to activate. And again, you have to be locked in combat to make this phase.
Yeah, so
make
you have
the
to be
3
within
inch
1 inch of the enemy, and you have to declare the charge.
You can't be 4 inches away and make your 3-inch consolidation. And be like, oh, now I'm.
It's not how that works.
Yeah. So if you charge and you were within 1 inch, all charging units go at the same time. So on your turn, all of your units you charge.
Yeah. Well, they go first. I assume you activate them still one at a time.
Right. But it doesn't matter because they couldn't have had charging units. So.
So you.
Right.
You pick your charging unit. You activate it. You move your 3 inches in. You can also catch other enemy units.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. Yeah.
And get them in the combat with you, which would force them to fall back the next turn, or maybe fight it out for a few turns. Who knows? Yeah. But I think it's really interesting. It forces a lot of spacing.
Yeah.
It's sort of how it dictates your deployment.
I think instead of right now where we're just castling, I think is the best word for it.
Yeah.
In terms of like a line of all of your guys.
Or just picking a corner and just here.
Vertical the deployment. I think it'll now be like a horizontal in waves.
Yeah.
So that because they can't get. They can't lock someone in if they can't jump over your unit.
They can't move through enemy units.
So if you have so you have one guy in a wave and the next unit in a wave,
like
staggers,
staggered
which
columns.
I think is good for the game.
It's a different way to deploy.
Yeah,
it's not like good or bad necessarily.
Yeah. I think it's better than
it'll be
the current.
Yeah, because the current's a little. Though the current you have to worry about like templates and stuff.
Yeah, the current is just about the current is just like a base level analysis of like how far my range of weapons is, and then you just like form a semicircle around that, and you just slowly move back as they come in. Now it'll actually be like, well, they're gonna get a charge in, right?
Yeah.
And now I can have
Once
a guy
they do that, and he has to fall back, so I have to leave a space for them to actually get away, and then
I think it makes like realistic tactical play, which I think is good, and also. It's still it's not sacrificing complicatedness. It's still a simple way to like reform the game.
So other than that, other than chargers going first, certain weapons are going to go first. They've talked about lash whips in particular with Nids
and Slaneshi demons.
So like there's a handful.
I hope Harlequins is in there as a Harlequins lover.
It'll be like a special rule.
Yeah, like they'll have something that goes really fast because they're supposed to be like the quick.
Well, it'll be
they are just like their base level guys are like initiative level 6 right now, so these seem kind of
it'll be things that currently hit at initiative 10 probably.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So like Mandy blasters
first.
Like
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like they'll get some shots in whenever you like.
But I hope that this is Slaneshi demons, right? So and that's a high level initiative thing. So I hope that it'll make Slanesh much better because I think it just means like the mark of Slanesh instead of giving you +1 initiative now means you go first, which is ridiculous.
Have to bump up the cost.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably
would be pretty devastating.
Yeah, because I mean, unless there's a different
click that link and see what demons it links to. Actually, let's may as well. Let's do some live research on the air. Coming to you.
Yeah, unless that means like I can't think of another way to give because you can't have plush. Yeah, it just links to the demonettes.
Okay, there you go.
So
it'll probably be special rules for very particular units.
Right. But I'm just like giving the marker this Slanesh usually just gives you +1 initiative. Now initiative's not a thing.
It'll probably just be demonettes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It might be that.
What does
it might
mark
be
of Slanesh do?
It might be special rules. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could be anything.
All right, so yeah, like different special weapons. Like I assume Mandy blasters. I don't assume. I know it's gonna be Mandy blasters, which go at initiative 10. Like maybe Hammer Wrath will have a mechanic that'll go first, but that'll be
Hammer Wrath will just be like a bonus,
right? Yeah,
because you're charging already.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
There's a couple others. I know like Call has his special stuff.
Right.
Just Magos is or Tech Priests.
Yeah.
Level Tech Priests, whatever they're called.
But
they
I
have the ability to do it.
I hope that models right now that are like initiative level 7 will have a special rule that like allows them to
probably also like things like fire barrels, full shot dischargers if you play Tau, things like of that nature,
and then also stratagem. There'll probably be one stratagem that says pick a unit and go out of phase.
You get to
go
counter
out of
attack,
turn. Right? Yeah,
something like that.
So like instead of your opponent like they charge, and instead of them going first on the charge, you like, well, I'm gonna spend my command point to go first actually.
Which I mean, with the limit of 1 per phase, I think that's fine. Which is important that there's a different charge phase and fight phase, because there might be uses for command points in the charge phase, like make the charge
or like re-roll a dice or something like that.
So after the charges go, you activate back and forth just like Age of Sigmar,
which is
it's great.
The best part about Age of Sigmar. I think it's the most fun.
Well, that's where almost all the depth comes from.
Exactly.
Age of Sigmar.
It's like the actual part where I have to sit down and think. Otherwise, it'd just be like a dice rolling mechanic game.
Yeah.
Which
currently
boring.
the assault phase is. Well, you go. All right. So you're initiative 5. So you're going to attack first. You roll yours.
Right now, it's actually there's very little RNG. I think in the assault phase right now.
No, it's very.
It's like this unit's going to win, and this unit's going to lose. Yeah. That's always how it is.
Now, will you make your leadership check?
And like that's okay, because I don't think that a guardsman should be able to stand up to a berserker bearing down on him, right?
Yeah,
and they said that they wanted to make it more dynamic, so I think they're about power balancing, which I'm kind of afraid of. If a berserker cannot kill a guardsman squad like 90% of the time,
They
don't
probably will because the Zerker will be more expensive,
right?
And B, it'll be specialized in
right,
melee combat.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
the guardsmen are not specialized in melee combat.
They specifically noted that we still wouldn't expect guardsmen to triumph over a unit, but like
anytime soon. Yeah,
but like they specifically said they wanted to have it to be more balanced. It to be not just a face roll on one side.
Then activate your Zerker first and he'll win.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty much that simple. I mean, he charged, so he gets to go first. So I think you'll probably dumpster the guardsman squad.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. The activate back and forth is great.
It is
adds a lot to the game.
It is simple mechanic that is easy to understand, but yet requires you to think a lot.
Yeah.
Which is great, and I don't know why they didn't have this sooner, but like
it's way better.
In Age of Sigmar, like it's like everyone can understand. It's a unique mechanic because everyone can understand it. You just like grasp it firmly, but you can still see a difference between a master level player and a newbie player in the way that the prioritization they have.
Yeah, and it's way better than initiative, which is like, oh, hold on, that sergeant's actually initiative 5. Wait, no, he's not. He's 6 because of this.
More than just like.
Oh wait, but you're like
game,
7, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
It's much.
So I think it's great.
Another thing is, like one of the things that makes me feel like an idiot the most while playing 40K is I played this game for a long time and I still have not memorized the 2-hit table in close combat just because it's different than the ballistic skill to hit.
Well,
and, like, the wounding
it's
and
capped out.
Yeah, it's like capped out and it's like it's just not the same.
Did they say they were going to go to flat to hit?
Yes, flat to hit.
In melee?
Yeah, so this guy will have a 3-up to hit. This guy will have a 2-up to hit.
It'll probably be modified. Like, Lord help me if you have a 3-up to hit on a tank.
Yeah. So it says the 3-up will be... So mostly, I feel like a Fire Warrior will have a 4-up to hit. And
probably
a guy that has... or like an Assault squad will have a 3-up. They said, like, if you are dedicated to Assault, you have a 3-up.
Yeah. Probably if you're bad at it, you get a 5-up.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll go to 6-up without... Unless it's like a Servitor. Well, no, even those are pretty good. Like, special things will get a 6-up.
Yeah.
Named characters probably only. Maybe Zerkers will get 2-ups.
Yeah,
they
said the most competent warriors. So the Swarm Lord and Gilliman, like named characters, were like examples of 2-up.
Badasses.
Which is
Harlequins probably. Yeah. Certain Harlequins, probably not even all of them.
Yeah.
Which it's cool.
Yeah.
The flat to hit makes it really simple, really easy to do. It's not quite it. There was something to be said for like the back and forth of like higher weapon skill. It's harder to hit, but it was just complicated and confusing.
Right.
And it wasn't great.
Yeah. And so
especially with it capped how it was.
Instead of like double toughing being like your only way to kill something with a power fist now, I think it's nice that your power fist, even if it doesn't double tough, will do more than one wound. So I think that'll add an interesting level of dynamic. The same way it adds an interesting dynamic with like a las cannon against a Riptide. It'll add a nice dynamic of a power fist versus a strength 5 guy or something like that, or a strength 6 guy, or toughness 6 guy.
Yeah. Or a toughness 12 guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. No, it's not a capped out. All right. Yeah. So I think this phase will be super bloody now. I think every game is like moving towards insane level of,
which is awesome.
Dying. Yeah, it does make the game a lot more crazy. Yeah, and now on to the last phase
of the game, morale.
Yeah, morale. This is, I know we've been saying
AKA
this a lot.
Battle Shock.
Yeah, I was like, no, we've been saying this a lot. This is like how it is in Age of Sigmar. This is literally word for word.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, what happens in Age of Sigmar. Which
so for those who don't know,
yeah.
What is it, man? Explain it to me as if I don't play Age of Sigmar.
Okay, so you have a value, a Battle Shock or bravery value in Age of Sigmar. In 40K, it'll be your leadership value. It is a number 6, 7, 8, could be around there. The amount of models you lost in your unit, you take that. Yeah, total casualties of the whole turn. You take that and you add it to your bravery score, or your leadership.
You add it to a D6.
Yeah. Add it to a D6. Sorry, you add it to a D6, and for every value over that. Leadership, over that leadership, you lose that many models. So let's say you lost 2 guys, you roll a 6 on your bravery, and
so that's an 8.
Yeah, and
your Space Marines.
And your Space Marine who are 7. So that means you would lose 1 extra guy. Like we've said in one of our earlier videos when we talked about Shadow War, this is probably the best thing to happen to 40K in a while. Leadership was an antiquated, unfun,
It was just
useless,
bad. It was bad.
useless. It was so variable that
It was either like
made
a
no
major
sense.
part of
right?
your game
or
because you played an army that didn't have army-wide fearless or and they shall know no fear or some way to just not care, or
and the whole fact,
nothing to you.
like the army, the whole fact that this unit's effectiveness relied on one single roll was just way too swingy. Because it could be like, this unit literally didn't care that 70%
9
died.
of his comrades fell.
Yeah, he didn't care.
But he is awesome.
Yeah.
So he was just like, whatever.
Yeah. Or it could be like, we lost 2 guys, and everyone's like, let's back out of here.
Yeah,
and it was either one or the other. It wasn't. And Battle Shock is nice because it's a variable amount that you're not getting completely destroyed by one roll. Like you could be completely destroyed by one roll.
I mean,
but
at most, it swings at most 5 or so. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right. But if you lost, like if you have a large squad of guardsmen and you lost like 20 of them, you're losing a lot of guys.
Yeah. That makes sense though. You lost 20 of your fellow comrades.
Yeah, right.
Died in front of you. And you don't have a commissar behind you telling you to shut up and keep going forward.
Right. So, so it is nice that it's not a variable. It's not something that you'll be like you won't see the effects of it, or it'll be devastating. It'll be like in between, which is nice for the game. It adds less crazy variability and more things you can count on. Like you can count on, I'm going to do this statistically, I'm going to do this amount of wounds, and then statistically I'll do this amount of extra damage because that amount of units will fall. So it allows you to actually think about how you're going to play the game and calculate and make decisions far in the future, rather than playing like reactively based on whether they pass a leadership test at the end of their
it wasn't even
phase.
great, like, because you would kill as many models as possible. You would say like, all right, well they have 8 models, so I need to do 25%. All right, so I killed 2, so maybe he'll fail it. Maybe he won't. I really have no control over that.
Literally no. It was kind of weird. And so now this will
change.
It also
speeds the game
up, and it's not after every phase too.
No, it's at the very end of the game. And how many times did you forget to take a morale check? How many times? Your shooting phase, all the time, because it was after every phase. So shooting, psychic, again an assault, like it happened constantly that people would, and it wasn't like malicious or anything. It was just too much shit to remember.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And a nice thing they talked about is that there will be things that. And they used 2 examples of things that already reduce leadership, which will now be actually effective. Like, I don't know how many times I've played the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. You've played against it a couple times when I played you. How many times did I remember that it has -2 leadership?
Never, and it basically never mattered.
Yeah, exactly. But now
again, you were either playing an army that literally did not care about leadership,
or it didn't, like you were gonna fail anyways.
Or you're just gonna run off the table, and it's terrible.
So I think this will make it actually effective, because now that's like an extra damage you're doing. Rather than like an extra percentage of chance of absolute failure.
Which is great. I think all in all, the game's a whole lot more lethal.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot more lethal. It's gonna be a bloody game.
I think that's most of the way that they're reducing the game length.
It's just things
if everything in your army is dead, you can't keep playing.
And the mechanics are simple, and I think they have enough room to where the plateau of skill level is much more is better. It's not like right now where like a person who's been playing the game for a year.
Is list building.
Yeah, exactly. Or a player who's been playing the game for a year can beat a player who's been playing for a month, who can beat a player, and a player who's played for 2 years can beat that person. I think that this much more allows you
to consider. There's so much more real things to consider, not unit spacing, not like no,
just
it's
time-consuming
like
things that are it's rather than a checklist. It's
like things to seriously consider.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
Yeah, I think a lot of time when I play the game, it's literally just a checklist. Did I do this? All right. Or like a flow chart or something. Like, if my opponent made this decision, I have to do that. My opponent made this decision, I have to do that. But now it's lot
what
more.
What do I have on the table? What do I need to make sure it doesn't die? Okay, these are the 3 things that can hurt the things that I need to make sure it doesn't die, which means I need to take those things out. But wait.
And now I think it's it'll still target prioritization will still be like the number one thing.
It'll be huge now.
But with a new charge phase mechanic, you'll have an extra level of like thinking about who goes first, the level of it. It'll change your whole like deployment style. Everything like deployment will matter a lot more. I think overall it'll create the strategic diversity and the thought processes that we want to see in a competitive war game, rather than the like just like I built the better list than you. And I
that is a lot of how
and
it is
I
now,
played the game okay.
Yeah.
And that's how I win. I think that
I played at a baseline
right.
of ability, and I just kind of won because my models are just points efficient, and that's just how it works.
I think when the game is more balanced, it means the better player will win.
Yeah.
Will win the game, no matter
what
what the contents of the board will be. Which can
Well,
be good,
it
can be bad.
So that's going to depend almost entirely on the new unit balancing and sort of how they're split up and all that.
And there's been a lot of things. I, for one, will think that everyone will rage. And I think the reason they'll rage is because it's kind of inevitable. With Games Workshop has said that this is going to be the most balanced the game has ever been. And probably
the
where will
easiest way
be,
to do that is to make it
gut,
simple.
is to gut the armies to where they are balanced in terms of like mechanisms and everything like that.
Yeah.
So like a Fire Warrior squad can stand up, or like my baseline squad can stand up to your baseline squad, can stand up to this baseline squad.
Sort of like how they do with Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it'll be as bad as that.
It won't be as bad as that, but it will be reminiscent of that, and that'll be enough to like make people say like, I just feel like I'm playing the same army, no matter what army you play.
Yeah.
And I think the longer the game goes, like Age of Sigmar, at the beginning,
with more and more releases.
At the beginning, it felt like every army was the same.
Well, okay, so for Age of Sigmar though, that wasn't helped by the fact that basically every army in that game is an assault army.
Right. Yeah.
With very few exceptions.
Yeah.
In 40K, there's a very good mix of like shooty armies, but like this is more of an assault army. This is more of like a sort of like deep strikey army. Like there's more differences.
Right.
There's more like variety in general, it seems. So that'll help a little bit.
And then stratagems will obviously help.
Stratagems will be interesting.
Will help to like make your army stand out.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully.
Like, which I think is inevitable that it will. I'm just like, I don't want them to cut too much of what makes my army feel unique out of the game.
They will, and it'll get brought down to like there'll be like one special rule per Space Marines will get, and they shall know no fear. Yeah. And you pick your chapter, and then you get like one more rule, and that's what you get.
And then you get access to another table of stratagems.
Eventually.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think that'll be on release. I think you'll have special stratagems on release, on like the main factions. Yeah. It's like maybe just Space Marines, rather than just like a full Imperium. But I think I'm excited about the game.
Yep.
Where it's going. How it's going to be played. It's going to be different, and that's always fun.
GW's finally listening to the community.
Yeah, we're kind of getting
like give a shit now.
It's kind of getting stale, so I'm excited. So from all of us at Chaotic Stupid Gaming, have a good one.
See you guys next time.
Yeah, see you next video.
Great.